Gus up here. Behind the mob mentality, you've seen it in Baltimore this week. Disturbing, rioting, looting, attacking police, and Dr. Frieda Birnbaum discusses the situation, whether it's likely to get better or worse. Dr. Frieda Birnbaum is a research psychologist. Doctor, good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
You know, we've seen this, though. I mean, this is out of anger, maybe bottled up anger. But we see it when a college basketball team wins a division or the nationals. They decide, let's go out and, let's vandalize and burn cars and such. What is this all about?
Rioting is a mob mentality. When someone does it, it gives us permission to follow suit. And there's been research on that. When someone is doing something, even something good, they will follow others. A man laying on the street in need of help, if everyone walks by, most people tend to follow that. If somebody stops, other people stop. So it is a mindset of mob mentality where we tend to follow others.
Well, what's really interesting about it is that your gauge of right and wrong seems to simply go out the window. And but you've already explained that this is something that they're playing follow the leader. Do you think it's also an issue in situations like Ferguson, Baltimore, where the media show up in the middle of the night? Sometimes it's dark. They turn on the lights. They have the microphones. They roll cameras, and it's almost like saying, "Lights, camera, action."
They can be a celebrity. They can watch each other the next day and feel that they're important. It's too bad that what they're doing is not going to be that helpful. If anything, it's going to be putting other people in danger.
Is it always associated with violent behavior? I mean, for the example I'm thinking of is we had a local musician here in our town last night who came for a free live concert, and the people just came out in droves on the sidewalk, and it almost seemed like a positive mob mentality in that, everybody's coming, I've got to go out there, even though maybe they didn't all know even who this guy was.
Yeah, is that what you're referring to, Doctor?
More so, you can feel a support system. Even if you're marching for a cause, if it could be done in a calm manner, that could be a positive reinforcement as well. So it's how it's done more than the message itself.
And thus the tying in of breaking a window and stealing a big screen TV because you feel like your friend or neighbor or somebody you don't even know you might share color with, that's what, sends it off right there. This is what they're doing. They're looting. Here's my opportunity. That's what they're doing, so that's what I'm going to do. It's really that simple.
Exactly. If they're getting away with it, why shouldn't I be part of this and not miss out?
So what can we learn from this? Where do we, what can we either do in our own communities? Is it a matter of talking with our kids? We saw the example of the Baltimore mom who was criticized for her handling of her 16-year-old, getting him not to join in this mentality, but is there anything we can do short of just sitting back and watching?
Yeah, she definitely got his attention.
That's a very important question, and there's a big message here behind the scene. People need to have a voice, and if we had some kind of structure where they could be heard, they could be understood, where they could make a difference, well, maybe they wouldn't have to go to such great extent to be seen in the wrong way.
The mob mentality doesn't always happen in real time in group settings, though, either. It can happen online, too. One person jumps in and starts a bullying campaign. The next person jumps in. The next person jumps in. Is that included, too?
Anything where you want to be part of. Often, when there's a stigma involved, you want to be on the other side. We're talking about bullying. You don't want to be with the person who's being bullied. So that person often ends up being alone, and that person is having to experience all these people against him or her, and that's the hard part because the other people are often in the majority.
Is there a resource where people can find out more on this? Have you published anything? Or?
Well, I have a website, and I talk about bullying, I talk about rioting, I talk about the mob mentality, but most of all, it's important for people to know that if there is something that they feel uncomfortable about, there's usually a reason for it, and they should go ahead and detract themselves from what seems to be the norm at the time and go in a different direction, because they would really be surprised how many people would follow them, and not only that, would be happy to go into a different direction.
Well, let's talk about bullying a little bit, because I know that you're going to be more sympathetic than I am, Doctor, but I was bullied. Almost everybody I know was bullied. I mean, I was physically bullied in one of my classes in junior high by upperclassmen, and it seems like I can't remember bullying anybody, but I can remember standing by while other people did it. So why is it worse? Is it really worse because you're on the Internet? Isn't that something you could simply turn off?
It's more obvious. People will see it. It can't be something that you can take under cover anymore. And then when other people see it, will they be judging you as well? Will you be having this kind of experience where you don't feel understood or supported, or you're afraid to acknowledge that you can't handle it in some way? And the statistics are that people who are bullied when they're younger are often bullied when they're older as well, and that's not a good thing.
Well, the one thing that I can relate to, and that is when it's out there on the Internet, you have no control over it anymore, and they have control of it. And if they decide that they don't want to take it down, it's going to be there forever.
It's going to be there forever, but now there's some good news. Google and Facebook are actually looking into these type of situations where there is bullying going on, and they are blocking these people who are doing the bullying.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's some little proactive stuff. What is your website?
It is drfrieda.com, and I just want to let everyone know that whatever it is that happens, there's always a reason for it, and then that's the time to say, you know what, maybe there's something that needs to be done. Maybe there are changes that need to be made. And that's a great opportunity to use leadership roles when you see something that's unjust, and that happens to be from bullying to problems relating to killings. Down the line, when you see something, it's a time for everyone to say, let me see what I can do to make changes.
One of these things in your press release says whether the situation between blacks and whites is likely to get better or worse. What's your prediction?
My prediction is we're being very careful on this verdict, what is going to happen with Freddie Gray. This is going to be a very sensitive issue, right and wrong, and how this verdict is being played out, and what information we will be getting, whether we can validate that information and feel comfortable with it. So this is a very timely event, and this is a very sensitive time in our country, and it's also a very revolutionary time because we are going to finally support people that have not been heard before. Not everyone is a criminal just because they're shot, and not everyone who is shot or stopped has to be killed. So we're going to have to look at this, review the court system, review our laws, review the way police officers are being trained, because as I said before, when you see problems, that's a sign that changes have to be made.
All right, Dr. Frieda Birnbaum, I really appreciate you being here on the show.
My pleasure.
Have a great day and a great weekend.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
drfrieda.com.